No virus can stop our assured, consistent, and quality education. The Jose Maria College holds true to its mission to provide quality education amidst the ongoing crisis on COVID-19. To ensure that all learners will get the best learning experience, the school has crafted 2 learning delivery options. Option 1. Online delivery. Students who have a stable connection to the internet shall undergo full online classes via platforms such as the Google ecosystem, Zoom, and an online learning management system. Online classes shall be held by our competent teachers on a daily basis. All interaction shall be via online, as there shall be no face-to-face interaction in order to keep you safe during these trying times. Option 2. Self-paced learning. For students who see it as a challenge to secure a stable connection to the internet, the school shall be providing modules and other instructional course packages. Students will work on these learning materials and from time to time may need to send their academic work online or discuss their progress with their teachers via email, chat, or video call on a scheduled time. They may attend online classes when their internet connection is stable enough for them to do so. Education goes on for the Jose Maria College. Your future, our mission. Enroll now. For more details, visit us at www.jmc.edu.ph.
Hello, Jmarians! Welcome once again to our Jmarian Talk 21, Episode 4. I know that y'all didn't expect another episode for this week, but surprise! So yeah, let me just do my weekly yo-yo and tell you guys what's in store for today's episode. In this episode, we'll be tackling the matter of the student's mental health. We'll still have the small talk with again 5 questions prepared by the IBED faculty that revolves around today's topic. But before the intermission number, we'll have 2 surprises prepared for you all. First is we'll have a familiar special guest to ask the same questions that we had answered, and in advance, he or she will get to answer this episode's big talk question, which basically gives us a heads up for what's the question for later on. But yeah, second, drum roll please. Da-da-da-da-da. We'll be talking to you guys. We'll interact with your comments, read shout outs, suggestions, or even answer questions. So please do look forward to that part of the show. Moving on, after the special appearance by today's guest, we'll have one more special appearance, not another guest. But yeah, we'll have another intermission number for today's episode, and after that, we're gonna share some thoughts about it. And yeah, and again, for the final part of the show, the big talk, where we'll be answering one major question that revolves around today's topic. Now, without further ado, let me just introduce my crew for today. Up first, we have our long-haired Vice President, Salvador Riddle.
Hello, Gian. It's glad to be back and shout out to my old friends in JMC. I'm glad to be here, Gian.
Okay, me as well. Okay, so next up we have our ever so clever auditor, Mr. Tristan Vicente.
What's up, everybody? I'm very glad to be in this fourth episode of Jmarian Talk, and shout out to BKY. Let's go.
Okay. Okay, next we have our dancer senator, Jovan Canindo.
Hello, Jmarians! Once again, I'm Jovan Sarexistin Canindo, your current senator. And I'm glad I'm finally back here in this episode because hindi ako nakasali ng last episode.
Oh. Okay. So, yeah, next we have another senator, our ever so productive senator, Joel Sarandona.
Hello, Jmarians. I am Joel Sarandona, your current senator. And shout out to Grayton Einstein.
Okay. So, yeah, sadly, Frenzy won't be joining us today, but instead, let me call on our pink-haired grade 10 representative, Zane Gastufa.
Hi, Gian. Hello, Jmarians. I am glad to be part of today's episode. Shout out to my classmates and friends.
Okay, nice hair, Zane. Okay, so lastly, we have another senator, Mr. Charo Mendoza.
Hello, Gian. Hello to my fellow SSG members. And shout out to all the people watching this talk show. And I hope that you will keep tuning in until the end.
Yes, exactly. So I guess that's about everyone. Third, did I miss someone?
Yes, I think you forgot our special guest today.
Oh, I totally forgot. Okay, I guess people are already waiting for today's special guest. So let me just straight up introduce her. Let me welcome Miss Delcy Escol, your former SSG president for the school year 2019 to 2020.
Hi, SSG officers. Hi,
Hello,
J.
Ate
Marian.
Chelsea.
Hi,
I'm so
Del.
honored to be part of this talk. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy.
Do you want to give a shout out to anyone or like a group of people?
Shout out to my, shout out to my co-officers before, to all my classmates before they're in JMC. I miss you all so much. Yun lang.
Aww. Okay.
Sana all.
Yeah. So basically, what we'll be doing, Jules, is like I said earlier, we're going to ask you the same questions that we're going to answer. And in advance, you're going to answer this episode's big talk, which is basically this one major question for today's episode. So, yeah, let's just jump right to it. For the first question, we have why is taking care of our mental health important? Third, do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, why is taking care of our mental health important? Because mental health impacts our thoughts in our brain, and it is vital and very important to have thoughts in our brain. That's it.
Exactly. Mental health plays a big role. Yes, mental health plays a big role in our daily activities. Like Third said, it affects our brain and what we do. Okay, so I think Jovan has an answer for this question.
Yeah, taking our mental health is important because it impacts our behavior, thoughts, and even emotions. So if we don't take our mental health, it may lead us anxiety, um, stress, depression, or things that happen to us that are not normal. So, especially nowadays that we're in the pandemic, we really need to take our mental health to be emotionally healthy.
Yes, exactly. Because uh, if our brain or like what we do is affected by mental health, it affects our daily lives and what we do to things. It affects our productivity and our work for each day. So, Joel, do you have any answer for this question?
Yeah, so for me, I believe that taking care of our mental health is one of the most important thing that we should pay close attention to, especially in this time of pandemic. Having a good and stable mental health also means having better and healthier way of thinking. Taking care of your mind is just as important as taking care of your body. We think clearly and do things precisely when we are in the right mind.
Yes, well said, Joel. Sana all. Okay, so Joss, do you have any thoughts on this question? What
Yeah,
do you?
same as the other answers. I really believe that mental health affects our daily life. For example, our way of thinking, sabi nga kanina, behavior, and also our emotions. Um, pero for me, I think it's really important because caring for our mind is also just as important for caring for our body, right? And I think taking care of our mental health will not only help us live longer, but also help us live a better life. And I think everyone would agree with that.
Yes. Okay, well said, Chelsea. So thank you all for your answers. Like most of the answers, taking care of our mental health is um as important of as taking care of our physical health, because we can't do anything precisely or correctly or effectively if we don't put our mind to it, and in doing so you need your mental health to be healthy. So yeah, that's why taking care of our mental health is important. Okay, so let's move on to the second question. So what effect do you think that the year-long quarantine have done to students' mental health? Okay, so I guess Zane has an answer for this question. Zane?
I believe the effects of the year-long quarantine on students' mental health are anxiety, stress, but I know that we can all cope with it in our own ways, like playing games, watching anime, and watching Netflix series.
So yeah, exactly. Uh, you don't really. I mean, you can lighten yourself up if you're like feeling down in quarantine. We have apps like we have the internet to entertain us. We can use the internet to basically lift our spirits up. Like Zane said, anime, Netflix. It's really been popular these days because people have nothing to do in their homes. Okay, so how about Tristan?
I think the year-long quarantine did to students' mental health is parang there's too much pressure. It gave a lot of pressure to students. Mainly because if you're a student, you're gonna think na I quarantine, so stay in house. You're gonna think na what will I do to make this year very productive, or in a way productive siya. What will I do to make to make myself feel like I did something in this year? It made us feel na parang we're pressured to make something out of every time that we have. And I think that's a good thing. But if you're a student, you should not, I mean, if you're a student, parang it's too much on you kasi usually, like, if face to face, parang go to school, like learn something. Pero ngayon kasi not all of us have the right minds. I mean not the right minds, parang same parang pinanggalingan, good
Situ-
same pinanggalingan. So parang
Situation.
yeah, mas mahirapan tayo na mag-adjust in a specific way. So that's my answer actually.
Yes, exactly. Um, yeah, I think Tristan basically summarized what I was gonna say. So how about Charo? I think Charo has some thoughts.
Yeah, I agree on Zane and Tristan's answers. I think that during this pandemic, the anxiety level of students rose up because that stuff like the pandemic is happening, quarantine protocols are being implemented, people are being regulated everywhere, and you can't even go out right now to do stuff you want, like going to resorts or something, and because of the policies that are being implemented, and and people nowadays are and some people nowadays are not even taking the pandemic seriously, and because of that the result is this virus keeps spreading and spreading, and the thing that affects our mental health about that is that when this pandemic continues in a long run, then the quarantine goes on too. So one cause is also that there are many drastic changes going on, especially the new mode of teaching from face-to-face classes to online learning. So as students, it really affects us. And these things happening in a span of a year, I think, in my own opinion, it really will place a strain on our mental health as students. And I think there's no sign of this pandemic stopping right now. So I see this year worth of quarantine might have placed some students in difficult situations, not only physically, but also mentally.
Yes, exactly. Like Charo said, if the quarantine goes on further, it will worsen our situation as students because, like I said, online learning isn't really that easy. It's really hard, especially the drastic change in the from the physical learning to online learning. It's really hard to shift to that easily. So yeah, like Charo said, once if the quarantine goes on, our mental health goes like worse. Worse, yeah, exactly. Okay, how about Chelsea? Jels, what effect do you think that the year-long quarantine has done to students' mental health?
Napansin ko na sa answer, it's all negative. Pero when I heard the question, I didn't only look at the negative, but I listed positive and negative effects. I think that in my opinion, positive effects do that is yung mga unang time pa lang ng quarantine, you have more time, you had more time to spend with our family, right? You had more time to rest, and that more time to rest helped us to at least relax, and I think that helped our mental health in some ways. But after the quarantine, as you start na yung iba, may develop na mental illness, and iba nag-feel ng loneliness because of the less human interaction. And I know some people na dahil sa super long quarantine, hindi na sila marunong makipag-interact sa people. Like, we have social, people with tamang term, pero it's like a social disorder. Parang hindi mo na alam paano makipag and that's one bad thing about the long quarantine that I think na naapektuhan talaga parang students. And this online learning was unexpected, right? And since it's unexpected, no one was prepared for it. So our shifting to actual classroom settings.
I think Chelsea has internet problems. So I think yeah, I'm just gonna go with what Chelsea said. It's the effect on the year-long quarantine on students is either positive or negative. Positive meaning that you can use that time to be productive to like focus on yourself. Most people work out with their free time given this quarantine, and yeah, like Chelsea said, one of the positive things that has happened this quarantine is like you basically um, spend more time with your family, make more memories with them, because in physical learning, we have little time to bond with our family members. So yeah, I think that's the positive effect quarantine has done to us, but as well as the negative effect, it's basically those who are extrovert. I was an extrovert before, but um be since quarantine started, now I'm kind of socially awkward because I don't really have to see that much people. So when I see when I see like new people, I get like anxiety over it because there's no social interaction.
Quarantine made you an introvert.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, some people develop social anxiety, some people develop depression this quarantine. So yeah, especially students because like I said earlier, this online learning is really hard to like handle. So yeah, like Charo said earlier, we need to think of it. We need to think of everyone else. We need to help everyone by following protocols to stop this quarantine as soon as possible because I think if this quarantine will like go on for further more months and maybe I hope not years, but yeah, I think that will really leave a strain in our mental health. So yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Okay. How about the effect of online learning to students' mental health? About wait, let's have Tristan.
I how I get can I see the question again?
Okay, it's I know it's basically what's the effect of online learning to students' mental health?
Oh yeah, that's actually a very parang timely question. No,
Yes.
so the effects of ano parang we ano as students we are parang again pressured to always excel because parang ano ba parang mahirapan tayo mag-adjust, so parang it's harder for us to think of ways na kung paano tayo we're going to be better as a person, if we're gonna get higher grades, if we're gonna get lower grades. So there's anxiety na ay parang online classes na gani, parang my grades is still lower. Parang there's like that anxiety na you need to always be better than last year. Parang as a student that's what ano I experience, and I think as a whole parang as ano not only by my experience but as our experience parang ano it's very hard for us to adjust kasi as they say parang nabiglaan tayo ba na nag-change agad yung pag mode of learning. So that's all.
Yeah, exactly. Because some students are more like on dependent on physical learning because like I said, I myself wasn't really that techy starting the online class, so I was really afraid of what I'm gonna do this year. Like some students are actually the same as me, like they had a hard time adjusting to online learning because they haven't really spent much time with their gadgets. Like I myself was really still a beginner using a laptop. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, like other students, I wasn't really that techy before, and that like basically gave me some anxiety in facing online learning. Okay, how about Joel? Joel, what do you think the effect of online learning did to students' mental health?
Um, I think that the quarantine has a great impact to all of us, especially to students in the new mode of learning. The online learning might cause stress or anxiety due to frustrations of projects or assignments. Fear and worry grows in the mind of students because of this pandemic or the tight schedules of schools. Unstable network connection play a big role in this online learning. This might be a this might be hard to take in, but it is what we should do to avoid spreading the virus.
Yes, exactly. Because like Joel said, frustration. I think mostly all students are like really angry at online learning, whether it be for the number of projects, whether it be for the like schedules, like we have to wake up early, and whether it be like the internet problems. We're really frustrated at this new mode of learning, but we don't have a choice because we can't really see each other, and we need to like really learn more because we can't waste a year of not learning. So yeah, like JMC said earlier in the intro, learning goes on for Jmarian College. So yeah, how about jealousy? Just ano effect na think mo online learning did to students with mental health?
Okay, so ano, I'll talk based on my experience. So I think the effects of online learning is, us students have lower motivation compared to nung sa classroom tayo. And the coping mechanism, di ba, mahirap mag-online class and everyone has different coping mechanism. Yung iba mabilis makaintindi, yung iba hindi. And sometimes kahit alam mo yung answer, nahihiya ka pa rin mag-press ng unmute button. And I think that's one of the like, parang factor na kanina sabi ni Crystal na kahit online class na nga, ang baba pa rin ng grade. Like, minsan kasi nahihiya tayo na mag-unmute, ganun. And, diba, relate naman kayo na kahit alam yung answer, di kayo maka-raise ng hands. Kahit may question kayo, di kayo maka-unmute kasi nakakahiya minsan. And ano din, lack of spontaneous organic conversation. Di ba like before, after, kunyari, math class, tapos na, hintayin natin sa teacher, go stay on the classroom, then mag-chika pa sa classmate. Ngayon, pagkatapos ng isang link, pasok na naman sa isang link, pas link na naman, di ba? So, it's really hard and it affects our health, not just the physical health or mental health. So, yeah. Pero wala tayong magagawa kasi nga pandemic.
Exactly. Some students develop anxiety throughout the year. So that's why they're not like doing well in school because they're afraid, like Josie said, to unmute because as I said, they developed anxiety throughout the year. So yeah. Okay. So about okay, let's move on to our question number 4. What do you think schools could do to help students with mental health, especially during this pandemic? Okay, let's have Tristan. Tan.
I think 'di ba, parang na-cut off yung connections natin with our friends and somewhat like we call as family members na din. So, parang I think as the school can help, parang the student-teacher connection na we needed na parang the teacher will ask, how is your day? I think that can also be done through face-to-face and also through online classes na we need to implement na it's not kasi parang small talks good na parang like hindi masyado like conversations na are you okay, parang it's good to have that sense of parang camaraderie na meron pa rin tayong parang we have someone to we have someone with us, we have someone to look up to, and I think
You
that's
have someone to
very
open up
important.
to,
Yes.
ganun.
So parang as teachers, and I think not only as teachers but as classmates na
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we can always parang hear
Check up on
ano
our
yeah
fellow classmates.
another yeah na, oy, are you okay, how's your day, parang ganyan good, just small questions that can give a big impact to the student or to the person that we are referring to.
Yeah, because you never know what a person is like dealing with. So
Yeah.
even that one question or one conversation can really play a big impact on how
Yes.
they're doing.
Because
So yeah,
I addition to that, because I think as students we tend to parang keep our problems to ourselves only. We don't share. So parang mas mas excited ka mag-open up when someone asks you the problem instead of you asking them the problem. So parang there's feeling of yay, someone asked me na, so I
yeah.
can open up somewhat, I can
Because
somewhat trust them.
mas mahiya ka mag like open up to someone, but
'Cause-
when someone like asks you instead, it's really like a big difference
Yes.
to your like
Kasi parang
confidence.
there's sense of feeling kasi sometimes like same sa akin, like I might get judged because of the situation that pero there's always that someone like in the back of my head. Yun lang.
So yeah, exactly. Okay, how about third?
I
What
think
could
just
what
like Christian said, the teachers keep questioning the students that they are feeling okay, and then they still thought that that students are not robots but still as humans. Also, our school remember that Wednesday and Thursday has no SLT times, right, Gian?
what I
Uh,
didn't hear what you said. Can you repeat it?
I mean, our school implements that Wednesday and Thursday has no SLT times. Like the school aware that not all students are robots or like technology, Wi-Fi, energy, something.
Yes, exactly. The cut off, the only SLT time, the change for the SLTs, like instead of having it the whole week, we only have it on Monday and Tuesday. And I think that really had a huge weight off our shoulders because doing SLTs every week for the whole week was really tiring. And I'm glad that the school basically changed it because they know that we're not humans and we can't handle like multiple SLTs one in 1 week. So yeah, I was really happy when they announced that the SLTs was only on Mondays and Tuesdays. So yeah, okay. How about Charo? What could schools do?
The thing with school is that we go there to learn, and sometimes learning can be very hard. And one point at your life, you will get very pressured, and that's a fact, especially if you are an excelling student. But school is also full of people that can help us achieve and find answers to our problem, such as our teachers. And school is also full of people. I mean, like we spent a year together with our classmates, and there's bound to be friends that we have made. and you can also depend on them because they are still part of school. And in these times, there's no better way of socializing with other people other than being in school. Though it might be tiring, but it's worth it than to do nothing at home.
Yes, exactly. But I think it's kind of hard to make new friends this year because we can't really chit chat in
Yeah,
the
I agree.
meeting. Because like if it's face to face, we can basically chit chat with other classmates, even though we'll get scolded at or even though we'll get called upon.
We
We
can
can
chit chat everywhere.
yeah, like even in the canteen, like time's slower when it's face-to-face class, but time's faster when it's online learning because 20 minutes recess was like really long during the online class, but then online learning is like 20 minutes, yun na yun. Like it was like maybe like 5 minutes. I think it was 5 minutes, but it was actually 20 minutes, like because like I said, time goes slower in face-to-face class, but it goes faster on online class. So yeah. And like I said, it's hard to make new friends because we can't really chat with each other. I mean, we can chat each other in the chat box, but like on mic and like having a conversation, that's really that's really a big no-no. So yeah. How about you, Lexi? What could schools do to help students' mental health during this pandemic?
Okay, so tulad ng sabi niyo kanina, it's hard to make friends, right? Kasi nga online. So I think schools could uh, do events where we can get to know each other and events that can encourage us to lift our self-esteem or encourage us to set our goals. You know, it can help our mental health. And schools could also prepare webinars. And itong ginagawa natin ngayon is also one way to help students kasi mas naiintindihan nila, mas ano like mas siguro ma-realize nila kung bakit important talaga ang mental health through us. So it's a good thing na gumagawa tayo ng ganito. And I also think na allotting days where teachers and students can talk one-on-one can help students kasi not all students are open to our friends. Right? Parang mas comfortable na mag-open to someone na adult, someone na may alam na sa life, di ba? Kasi mas mabibigyan nila tayo ng mas magandang advice. And also mental health break, like after exam, after a long exam, monthly exam, quarterly exam, sana magbigay ng mga days to rest after kahit 1 to 2 days, ganun. Just to help us relax or just to give time na mag-rest yung students. It can really help us.
Yes, exactly. We actually need time to rest once every after exams, but even though James he doesn't really do that, I think every like for example, the exams ended on Tuesday and the next class is on Wednesday. But what we do on Wednesday isn't really that much. Am I right, guys? Diba? If like after
Yes.
exam wala masyadong ginagawa na like
Yeah.
next class.
It's
So
like
yeah,
breaking.
I think that serves as our rest day. But actually, guys, did you know na merong ano? Did you know that there's actually a program that GMC has prepared? Like there's actually a program where students can like basically apply for an appointment anytime. So it's an appointment to talk to this year's POD to like basically open up and like ask guidance from. Yeah, like you basically can make an appointment anytime to like basically yeah talk with our POD, like basically put some weight off your shoulders. Yeah, I think that's what our school did to help our students' mental health. Okay, so before we head to our intermission number, let's have one last question. Do you think that the teachers' mental health has also been affected during this quarantine? Okay, Zane, do you think the teachers' mental health has also been affected?
Yes, I think teachers' mental health has also been affected during this quarantine because just like as students, they get tired, exhausted because every time after class, hindi agad sila nagre-rest. They make lesson plans, they plan for future lessons. So just like us, they all need rest.
Yes, exactly. As we are not robots, teachers are also not robots because like I really haven't thought of it that much, but once I thought of it, teachers have to do a lot of things to prepare for the like for example, on Sunday, they have to prepare this and that, prepare lesson plans, and like learn the lesson itself, and like practice what you're gonna teach the students or what you're gonna say to students in class. So I really think teachers' mental health has been affected also because, like I said, they're not robots, they're humans still, as we are still humans too. So yeah, okay. How about Tristan? Do you think that teachers' mental health has also been affected?
Yes, of course. Like it's not only hard for us students, but it's also been hard for them teachers now. Like they're always in that constant mind that am I going to get cut off in my job because there's no ways. Kaya parang it's very hard to find as many sectors of in the pandemic, and one of those was education. A lot were affected, like especially the teachers and like other employees in the education system or like in the education sector. So parang there's always like maybe like not me but like there's always parang make they always isip na am I going to get a job, like why is it so hard to get a job, especially that it's in a pandemic, ano like am I going to parang continue with this job. So parang like it's very hard for them na they need to keep on they need to keep on like thinking about it, especially
Worrying, like
yeah,
yeah,
kasi like they also living like they're paying expenses a lot actually more than us, like like students, because at least some people at least us students, maybe not all of us like are supported by our parents, them they need to support themselves and other people as well. So it's like also been hard for them to adjust, to find jobs and to do everything amid this pandemic. So that's all.
yeah, exactly. It's kind of tiring to keep on worrying about something like from time to time. Like Tristan said, maybe like teachers have their own mind. Like, am I gonna keep this job? Am I gonna get fired? Ganun. It's really tiring to worry about one specific thing from time
Yeah,
to time,
very. Actually also
and you
addition I'm
can't.
gonna add I'll get you
Okay,
continue first.
okay, yeah. As I No, I'm not gonna continue. I basically
Oh,
said
okay.
it. It's like tiring to keep on worrying about one certain thing. Okay.
Yeah. And also like they need to change their form of teaching. Kasi like I think as teachers like they're gonna have like a trademark to students na ay tinudluan ni Black, like right we have like a like before Serbo ay tinudluan ni Buwayan, like we have our trademark, I mean they have their trademarks as teachers. So it's very hard I think to put your trademark to like to the an online class parang type. So parang mas mahirapan sila to put their trademark like I this is how I teach, this is how I help my students learn, and that's like a very hard thing that gives them harder time to like in this pandemic.
Yeah, and it's also hard to capture your students' attention because I'm not gonna lie, most classes are kind of boring, and that's because like during physical class, teachers can have like activities to like help the students understand the lesson more, but we can't really do that much. I mean, we still have activities regarding the lessons, but it's not the same as activities during physical class. So yeah, I think that's about one factor that like affects student teachers' mental health is like the difficulty to capture the students' attention. Okay. How about Jovan?
Uh,
What's your answer to this question?
yes, because teachers are also adjusting to this new normal because of the pandemic. They are also not allowed to go out and have fun just like pandemic before. So they are new to this terms of new online platform. So it may take a while for everyone to adjust. Yeah.
Yeah. Even teachers cannot be techy. I actually know some teachers that are having a hard time into shifting to this online mode of learning. I know some teachers aren't really that techy. So yeah, I think really they really had a hard time in shifting to this specific mode of learning. How about Joel? Do you think that the teacher's mental health has also been affected?
Yeah, so I think that teachers' mental health has also been affected by the quarantine. In some schools, frustration of teachers were rising because of the need for printing materials for the module. The internet connection also tests the teachers' patience. That is why our teachers should also take some rest and have time to take care of their mental health.
Yeah, exactly. But also as students, we need to understand the teachers. We need like I know some students aren't really that focused on getting good grades. Like I know some students don't really pass this PT or pass some tasks, and that's really hard for the teachers because they end up chasing that student. Like even this happens even way back of like face-to-face learning, like ginugukod sa mga teachers the students to like to catch up on their PTs. So yeah, as students, we also need to understand our teachers that we need to comply as soon as possible so that they don't end up stressing about our grades and our like missing compliances and stuff. So yeah, we can also yeah as students we can basically help improve our teachers' mental health as they can do for us. Okay. So, Giles, do you think that the teacher's mental health has also been affected?
Yes, yes, definitely. And ano, I agree with what you said, Gian, na dati tayo yung hinahabol ng mga teachers. So, since teachers are helping us to learn the easiest way possible through this new system, let us also help our teacher. Huwag na tayo magpahabol. Let's contact them first. Kesa naman sila na magpa-contact sa atin. Kasi madami rin silang student, not just us. So let's also be considerate. And if our mental health as a student is affected, definitely teachers' mental health is also affected by the online teaching, yung way of teaching. And teachers who loves to use the whiteboard, who loves to write on the whiteboard, bigla na lang shift to PowerPoint presentations, and their anxiety. I don't know if sa JMC required mag-on ng camera kapag class, pero
Kailangan
sa amin
actually.
di ba
Kailangan
kailangan.
kailangan mag-on.
Nakikita ko sa kapatid ko iba na kailangan naka-on cam. Pero sa amin kasi like, pwedeng hindi mag-on cam. So, doon, feeling ko na nagkakaroon ng anxiety yung mga teachers ko. Nagigets ba nila? Kasi hindi na nila nakikita yung non-verbal cues ng
Kasi
students
ano
ko.
rin no, like basically you don't know if the students are really there
Yeah,
listening to your
yeah,
class. Maybe they're
that's
like
true.
just turning off their cam and like doing something else.
Yeah,
Like just come back to leave the class. Yeah, like
it's
you said,
really
teachers also develop like that kind of anxiety over whether or not the students are actually there or not. So
yeah,
yeah.
kasi hindi na nila nakikita eh. And even if a student was there, kung nakatingin lang siya, nakikita ng teacher, confused na ba yung student ko? Gets na ba ng student ko yung lesson namin? Hindi na nila nakikita. So, it's really a hard thing for teachers. And as much as possible, I encourage everyone to open their cam, listen to the lessons, and kapag nag-ask yung teacher, please answer. Kasi in my experience na may mga teachers na nagtatanong, tapos walang sasagot. It's parang, wala na,
Parang
nagsistop na yung teacher.
it's
Yung
kind of
parang,
disrespectful, no?
yeah,
To like to not answer a teacher's question.
yes. Pero
So yeah.
minsan din yun, nahihiya tayo.
Oh,
It's not our fault din naman minsan. Minsan kasi may mga student na anxious din mag-unmute.
yeah.
Yan, pero let's have the courage to open our mics and our cameras para ma-comfort naman yung teacher natin na, ay, okay, gets ng student ko. Nakikinig sila. Kasi it will really help them with all of their
Yeah.
mental.
Like the like when the feeling you get when students say na like thank you sa pag-teach ma'am, I really understood the lesson. It really like makes teachers happy, really brightens up their day. So yeah, like Dulcie said, I really encourage students to like interact or cooperate with their teachers in class, whether they have a question or not. Uh, Yeah, like Josie said, to turn on their cam to like assure their teachers that they're actually listening. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you do get like if you do get like if you're what do you call that? If you're struggling to understand your lesson, you can actually, if you're too anxious to unmute, you can actually PM your teacher, like chat with them about the lesson. So yeah, that's one way. But still, this mode of online learning is really hard. I think everyone can agree with that. So yeah,
Yeah, I totally agree
Yeah, yeah,
because
true.
teachers are like humans us are like just us like humans, just what Bill commented before. And no human is has perfect resistance to mental problems.
yeah, exactly. Not nobody has a resistance or immunity to like depression or like mental health problems. So yeah. So
Pwede
just
mag-add,
I say go.
like, I hope students really have the courage to talk to their teachers po kasi if tayo nag-ask ng questions sa teachers and hindi nila sinagot, what would we feel? Diba?
Yeah.
Nag-tweet na tayo, bigla, ay, si teacher, si mami ganito, diba? So, if teachers nga natin after lessons, they ask questions, do you have any questions? Get me that. Tapos walang mag-aano. What do you think will they feel? Diba? Let's appreciate our teachers kasi they're also humans. They're not just people na magtuturo. They're
Yeah.
also our parents. So, yeah. Yun lang.
Yeah, before judging someone, you need to see yourself, you need to imagine yourself in their shoes
Yes.
to like think of what they're gonna feel when you say this, when you say that, when you do this. So yeah, you need to like put yourselves in their shoes to fully understand their situation. So just before you leave us in this episode, I think you're gonna I know you're gonna answer our big talk question for today in advance.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so the big talk question for today is how do you normally overcome emotionally draining breakdowns in life? And would you like to give a message to our viewers about the importance of mental health?
Okay, so yeah, first I would love to share a message. But first, I cope up with my brain, like if I'm drained or if I'm having a breakdown. It's simple. I just rest. I always rest when I have time. To be honest, before, kahit pagod na gagawin ko, pero it's a bad thing. Dati ang laging sinasabi sa sarili ko na, I know I am tired, I know I am physically and emotionally drained, but I have to keep going, which is wrong. Kasi dapat, if you know you're tired, you know you're emotionally and physically drained, rest. You take a rest and then keep going. You know, rest is very important for us kasi sabi niyo nga, di ba, we're not robots, so why strain ourselves? Ba't natin papagurin sarili natin? Diba? Kung pwede mga pahinga, di ba? And, yeah, just have faith. Always pray, ask for guidance because nothing will go wrong if you have faith in God. And yeah, I recommend everyone to rest. Always rest and enjoy life. Yeah. And to
Yeah,
all our viewers, please realize that mental health is important. It's not a joke. Other people are suffering from it and actually dying from it. And I hope our generation takes mental health seriously. Kasi napapansin ko sa Generation Z na like they just make jokes about mental health and it's not good. It's mental health is not good. So to all Jmarians out there, don't strain yourself. Always take a rest when needed. But always keep going. No? Huwag yung pahinga tapos pahinga na lang lahat. O no, pahinga ka lang tapos balik ka ulit. Nothing's
yeah,
wrong with
exactly.
resting.
Yeah,
Yun lang.
it's important to rest when you've done so much, but it's not good to like rest all the time and
Yeah.
not doing anything. So yeah, like
Yes,
Dulcie said,
yes.
rest is always an important part of growing as a person. So yeah, thank you so much, Chelsea, for starring in the show. Really miss
Thank
you, and
you guys.
yeah,
Thank you
you see,
so much.
most of us, you see, viewers, most of us here have been under Chelsea last year. So yeah, okay. So once again, thank you, Jels, for being a guest in
Thank you
today's
to
Bye.
episode of
Chelsea.
Jmarian
Keep
Talk
watching
21. Bye,
Jay.
Jels.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Okay. So I guess we'll have an intermission number now. So since Frenzy's not here, let's have Zane to introduce our intermission number for today. Zane?
Hi, Gian. Okay, J. Marians, I guess Chara has a special number prepared for us today. Give it up for Chara, who will be performing a flute instrumental cover of the song Oceans by Hillsong. Chara?
Hello, Zane. Hello to all the
Thanks
viewers
for the
watching this
audience.
talk show. So I will be performing Oceans by Hillsong. It will be a flute cover instrumental. So
Mhm.
I hope you will stay tuned and I hope that you will love the performance I will give.
I believe I will. What's the reason behind why you chose the song Oceans by Hillsong?
If I got what you said right, I think I think I chose the song Oceans by Hillsong because it matches my type and flavor of the song. It is like very smooth and very emotional, and for the instrument flute, it really is a perfect match, in my own opinion.
Give it a go for today's talent, Charahil Mendoza, our senator.
you've been blessed by the song, keep tuning in to Jmarian Talk 21. Once again, I am Jmarian Charo. Until next time, have a great day, Jmarians.
Let's give it up for Chalo. Zane, don't you think that was amazing? An amazing performance.
Yes, I think it's a very nice performance. When did you start playing the flute, Charo?
Yeah,
Actually, I think it was about when I was grade 5. Was that 9 years old or 8 years old, maybe? Yeah,
I think
and
so.
yeah, I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
and there was a program for us, and I just picked the flute because like nobody was picking it there.
Yeah, it's nice to be different sometimes. So yeah. Um. Okay. I think I, I think let's move on now, Zane.
Okay.
Okay. So
Passing
that
the stage to
performance.
you now.
Yeah. Thank you, Zane. That performance was so heartfelt, and even though there are no words in the song, you can still feel the emotion the song wants to convey. Am I right? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're
Okay,
right.
so once again, I guess everyone's excited for this part of the show. A recap. Some of we officers will entertain the comments, read them out loud, like shout outs and stuff, and you viewers can even ask questions, and we'll basically pick out comments and present them on screen. Read or answer them. So just keep on coming, keep on commenting. Okay, so we have a question here by Johanna Benedicto. Do you think we're doing good considering that we are in the middle of a pandemic, and why? I think it's as a student, we're doing the best we can given this like sudden shift to online learning. We're really like we're really trying to be successful in learning stuff, which I guess we are kind of because I've seen that there are more and more students ending up on the honor roll, like the JMC page post honor rolls for each section, and I'm really happy to see that some students are actually excelling. Like there are more and more students who are like on the honor roll. Like comparing to last year, there are like only 10 students, but now it's like 24, 21, like that. So yeah, thank you, Johanna, for that question. Okay.
Well, for the next comment, what can you say on those people that say mental issues and like anxiety, depression is a joke? Well, all I can say is that depression, anxiety is not really, it's not a joke. When you can say it's a joke, well, you people think that you're bad and you don't care about anything. Depression and anxiety is very important and very dangerous because it might affect your brain or your life. Maybe you can turn yourself into an insane person just because you got anxiety or depression. Well, that's all I can say. Well, thank you
Yeah, I
for that comment.
totally agree with third because if you're like making a joke with depression, it's like making a joke with murder.
Yes,
Yes,
it
exactly.
makes you
Those
a person.
people are the worst, right?
Yes, it makes you like an insane person when you're saying that depression or anxiety is a joke.
Yes, it's really not good to talk or joke about like mental health issues because those are really sensitive topics, and you never know when a person is listening, like whether they have anxiety and they like hear you making a joke about it. That plays a big role or a big impact on their state, on their mental state, and that like leaves a strain on their mental health. Okay, so
Well,
thank
thank
you
you
for
for
that.
that comment. Organized Galo Garcia.
Exactly.
So we have another amazing question from Sheen Kamahalan, our very own AP teacher, our amazing AP teacher. Let's give a hand of
Shout out,
applause
Ma'am
to Ma'am
Cheney.
Sheen. Charot, ma'am. Hi, students. I'm curious lang po. Sana ma-answer. Of course, we're going to answer this. Personally, how can you cope up with your mental stress? For me, I mean, it's a personal question, so we all have our different opinions. But me, I always know my limit. I always know to take a break because if you're going to keep yourself being bombarded by like the things in school, that's going to give you a lot of stress. And I think like giving myself a me time really helped me like to like to cope up with my mental stress or like to decrease my mental stress because like you always need to think of like you're not a robot. You need to you need to like anong tawag yan, yung kailangan mo, you need to always also think of yourself na, like, you need to think of your health, you need to think of your physical and mental health, you need to think of your spiritual health, and you need to think of the people that will be affected if your mental health will overcome you as a person. So that's like my
Yes,
answer.
exactly. Like Josie said earlier, rest is key. Like if you know, it's important to know your limit because I know some people don't really know their limit and they're just like keep on going and in the end they're like getting burned out. So it's really important to know your limit so that when you are at your limit, you know when to rest instead of resting when you're not doing anything, which is bad because you're kind of procrastinating and stuff. So yeah. So thank you, Ma'am Chini, for that question. Shout out, Ma'am Chini. Okay.
So for our next question, it comes from our very own IBED principal, Mr. Brian Templa Alberto. So the question says, what advice will you give to a student who is experiencing mental health issues? How will you motivate him or her? So I can only give advice to students like just what my fellow SSG members said earlier from the question before. But for my advice, I just want to say that when things go tough, you can like step back a little. Like in war, there is what they call strategic retreat, but doesn't mean they are actually surrendering. It's just what they say strategic retreat. So when you experience something like mentally straining, just rest. Like what Ate Chelsea said kanina, what my other fellow members said before, you need to rest because by resting you can actually like um, see the problem as a whole because maybe you didn't see something before and like it will what do you call that, like it will like make you wake up good parang ganun, like
Yeah, you open your eyes
yes
to the new possibilities.
yeah that actually there are many possibilities to answering that problem. So yeah, that's all.
So for the motivation, I guess I remember Frenzy saying that in order to be motivated, you need to find something to motivate you. And I think each and every one of us has like different motivations. Like some people have their family as motivation, some people have like a certain someone as their motivations. But also it's important to like have yourself as a motivation because in motivating yourself to improve, you can grow so much in life. Okay. So thank you for that question, Sir Brian.
So, from Johanna Benedicto, many students are considering to stop attending school because of the anxiety or depression that is growing in them. What do you think is the solution if the public started to judge them? For me, I think the solution if the public started to judge them, just don't listen to them. Um, do what do what makes you happy. Like you can do everything because you have the right. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, you don't need to focus on their judgment because that really doesn't have an effect on you. You need to think of yourself. You need self-love, like I said. And in my thoughts on students that are considering not stop attending school because of anxiety or depression, I guess social interaction, even in the online learning or even in class, improves your mental health because then you see other people. I guess I think that's just for me, but I guess there are for some everyone that like Im- seeing other people struggling, you can like improve your like way of thinking and stuff. So yeah, like
Just
Jovan
do
said
what you
earlier.
like.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jovan said earlier, you shouldn't be shamed for what you love to do. So yeah, basically self love. Self love is the answer. So yeah. Okay, so um yeah, thank you guys for the comments and all of that. I guess this will be a part of each episode now. I don't know. But still, once again, thank you guys for your cooperation. So I guess we're gonna head on to our final part of the show, the big talk. For those who aren't familiar, the Big Talk is the final segment of the show where we'll be answering one major question the IBID faculty has prepared for us. So let's get right to it. The Big Talk question for today is: how do you normally overcome emotionally draining breakdowns in life? And would you like to give a message to our viewers about the importance of mental health? Okay, let's have third.
What I did to overcome emotionally draining breakdowns is just to ignore it and think about positive thoughts. And don't overthink too much. All my message all about to the viewers is don't overthink and don't think about negative things or pessimistic things. Just think positive and move forward. And also rest sometimes.
Yeah, me and Franzi's catchphrase is to be optimistic. Always look on the positive side of life instead of focusing on the negative side of life, because once again, if you're focusing on the negative side of things, you actually get blinded or clouded. Your thoughts are clouded by your emotions. So yeah. How about Tristan? How do you normally overcome your
I
breakdowns
normally
in life?
overcome because I think as students we tend to keep our problems to ourselves. Like we're afraid to I mean personally me, I'm afraid to open up with my problems to like the people that I'm close with. Maybe that does not like apply to everybody, but as to me I always know how to reach out to people because I think reaching out gives like gets like that heavy thing out of my chest na at least someone will parang agrees to my problem, at least someone will help me parang cure or like help me parang tawag niya, parang tulungan ako upang like mawala yung problem that I'm facing. So I'm very grateful to that I have like that support system even though I'm not that very close, or like when I'm emotionally or drained, like I cry. I mean, I'm not a very cry person, but I get angry when when I like I'm emotionally drained. Like that's my thing. Like when I get sad, instead of being sad, I get angry. Like I want to rant so bad, but I can't. But at least I have like a person that I can rant with, like instead of like ranting into social media accounts, at least I can say it to person and that person believes or like agrees with what I think. And I that's a very important thing that I think every person or every student should have. It's like you need to have your own support system because your support system will help you grow and will help you be a better person. I mean,
It will
like you
also help
also,
you basically move on from that certain
yeah.
problem in life.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah.
also remember that you need to choose your support system carefully, because as they say, like birds, like if you're with that like specific group, you're that person. So parang like birds flock something together, like ganon good. Birds
Yeah.
same feather flock together. Like you need to like if is this support group like good for my mental health? Is this support group
Yeah.
better? Will help me be better person when at the future. So like and also like my like my parang again yung second question. I like my advice.
Yeah,
My
advice.
advice to people is take a break and know what's your limit, because like knowing your weakness will help you grow, because it's a
Yeah.
matter of time na people need like not all people will help you every time. You also need to help yourself, because like the importance of mental health to us is very important, because it sets a person like it will not only affect you, it will also affect the people that you are with. And like as viewers or like as the people that parang, because we don't know kasi a lot like we're 7.1 billion people in this planet, and a lot of people are facing mental health or mental health problems. Like not all of us open it up to everybody. We don't know someone is having mental health without us knowing. So I think we need to be very careful because it's a very sensitive problem to us people, because a lot of people are dying actually, as they say, as Ate Josie and Kuya Charo say, with mental health problems. So I think let's take mental health very seriously. It's not something to joke on. It's not something to parang put in a comedic phrase na mental health is like ha 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 phrase na like it's very funny. Like we could just talk about it on Twitter like as a joke. We need to talk about it as a real problem as much as like economic problems. Like that's also the same thing as mental health, because If like a person is affected by mental health, that will affect the economy. If like let's say as Filipinos, all of us will be affected by mental health, what will happen to the economy? It's a domino effect to the world we live in. The world will get destroyed if everybody is, I know, if everybody is facing mental health problems. So I think we need to take the steps. We need to take like this mental health seriously, because we will always be affected if we're not going to take it seriously. So that's just like my answer.
Well said.
Just simple
This
one, just simple.
this stand for
Simple.
president 2022.
Mayora.
So yeah, so yeah, I really agree with what Tristan said earlier. It's better to rant to other people because if you like keep on everything, keep everything to yourself, you're eventually gonna burst out. Like
Yeah.
you're eventually gonna break down. So like yeah, it's really important to like rant or vent out your emotions
Yeah,
to
also
like a
additional
trust.
kasi parang ano, most of, for example, like suicide, most of the
Yeah,
people na ano like most of the people that did suicide, one of their problems is like they were not able to vent out their problems to other people.
yeah,
Like that's sad because like nobody really cared to parang reach out or to help you with your problems. So parang it's very tragic na I wasn't able to help this person even though I knew that he was facing this problem. Like
yeah,
that's sad, like seeing a person die because of ano like a mental health problem, and you were not able to help even though you were present in the times where he or she needs it. Yeah, that's
yeah,
all.
yeah, exactly. Like I said earlier, it's important to be kind to anyone or everyone because you really don't know what they're facing or what their current state is. So maybe like if you be mean to like a stranger, like you don't know they might end up get basically doing suicide. So you really need to be careful with what you say to other people because you really don't know what they're facing. So yeah. Okay, how about Joel? How do you normally overcome emotionally draining breakdowns?
So personally, I haven't experienced any emotional breakdown yet,
Ano all?
but but my message to our viewers is to be strong and have a safe mental well-being. Having a stable mental health often involves thinking in a more positive and healthy manner. It's just as important to look after your mind as it is to look after your body. We should think simply and concisely, always think positive, take time to rest, and take as long as you need.
Yes, exactly. Okay,
Yes,
well
stay
said, Joel.
strong.
Stay strong. Okay. How about Jovan? How do you normally overcome breakdowns in life?
For me, I open up to my best friend. Shout out to Maris Rosette. I ran to her and she never disappoint me to help to my problems. Yeah, and sometimes I just dance like suddenly. So just turned on the music and yeah, listening to music that makes me chill. Then watching some movies in Netflix. So my message to our viewers: just look for the bright side, be positive, do what you love, and rest sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like each and every one of us has our own coping mechanisms. Like for Jovan, it's dancing. I don't know. For me, it's eating. I don't know. So yeah. Okay.
See,
Thank you, Jovan, for that answer. Charo, can you answer this question for us?
So for this question, the same thought applies to the answer that I have given before, just like what Ate Chelsea said, rest and stepping back if things go like south isn't the same as giving up. Strategic retreat isn't the same as surrendering. So so just think of the problem like as a whole, and maybe you can find more possibilities, more answers that you haven't found before, and maybe that will help you solve your problem or your mental health issues. And one thing that you can also do is to like depend on others also, because as humans we have limitations and there will really be things that we can't handle on our own. So if things are like that, you can just depend to your friends, family, relatives. And if you are really in a difficult, very difficult situation, look up, because there is always a God watching over us.
Yeah, like Charles said, it's really hard to face difficult situations alone. For us students, we have our guidance counselors, our PRD, our teachers to vent out to. So yeah, it's really essential to like use them to like it's not it's I kind of feel bad for saying to use them, but to like vent out to them. It's really important to like trust them because in like venting out or like basically saying your emotions to them, it really like lessens your a heavy load in your heart or like your mental package. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So lastly, let's have Zane to answer this question.
Personally, I would overcome my emotionally draining breakdowns by talking to that one person that helps me relieve my stress.
Oh,
And we usually either play games or watch anime together, like have fun to like make me smile to somehow lessen my stress. If and sometimes we don't have to meet every expectations that everyone is giving us. Sometimes we just have to follow our own pace and slow down. Do what we love and do what's good for us.
yes. No one's like forcing you to like do this
Mhm.
quickly or like you need to follow. Each and every one of us has our own pace. It doesn't matter if it's slow or fast. Even like small progress is still progress, right? So yeah, like Zane
Yes,
said, it's
yes.
nice to have that certain someone. But if you don't have someone, you have your friends. You have to remember that you have your friends to like basically reach out to. So yeah. Okay, so I guess that's about it. I think it is. So yeah. Once again, thank you everybody for your endless support of our very own Jmarian Talk 21. Remember that taking care of your mental health is really important and also sharing your problems to others is one of the ways to help your mental health. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Gian Longhino, your SSG president, signing off.
Thank you, everybody. See you next
Thank you,
Bye.
episode.
guys.
Bye
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Ever.
Guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye guys.